One of the best ways to ensure someone is remembered is to name a government building or a school after them. It is an honor that often lasts a long time. Like other countries, Canada has many schools named after former political leaders. Unlike most other countries, some Canadian school boards have been doing everything they can to erase the legacy of our first Prime Minister, John A. Macdonald. For example, earlier this year the Toronto District School Board announced their intention to rename 3 schools, one of which currently bears Macdonald's name. They are doing this because Macdonald was an imperfect 19th century man who said and did things that fall far short of 21st century standards. However, Macdonald also played a key role in the constitutional negotiations that led to the formation of the Dominion of Canada. Had Macdonald not brought together the disparate linguistic and religious groups, it's possible that Canada as we know it would not exist today. For this feat alone, Macdonald is worthy of having his name on government buildings and schools. If Canadian patriotism is to have any basis at all, we need to honor the man who helped create our country and led our country during its first few years. Thanks to Macdonald's leadership, Canada successfully resisted the continental expansion of the United States, and this small developing country forged a unique identity that remains today. Sadly, the TDSB trustees have refused to halt their renaming process. Even public opposition from the Canadian Institute for Historical Education failed to sway the opinion of trustees who are determined to erase any vestige of respect for historical figures like Macdonald. Thus, all Canadians should be pleased that the Ford government is finally taking action against rogue school boards like the TDSB. On May 29th, Education Minister Paul Calandra introduced the Supporting Children and Students Act, 2025 in the Ontario Legislature. This legislation gives the Ontario government the power to override school board decisions that aren't in the best interests of students and taxpayers. Importantly, this legislation also requires a school board to get ministerial approval before renaming any school. This essentially brings the TDSB's renaming plans to a grinding halt, particularly since Calandra made it clear that he opposes taking Macdonald's name off school buildings. While keeping Macdonald's name on schools is the right thing to do for historical reasons, it's also fiscally responsible. The nearby Thames Valley District School Board, which recently went through its own renaming process, estimated that it costs approximately $30,000 to $40,000 to rename a school. This is money that could be better spent on textbooks and other school supplies. Additionally, undergoing a school renaming process entails a significant opportunity cost. Not only are staff members required to spend considerable time researching alternative names, but school board administrators must also devise a plan for communicating the name change to the public. This inevitably takes a school board's focus away from teaching and learning. Thus, it's time for the Ford government to check the power of rogue school boards. When trustees lose sight of their primary mission of supporting teaching and learning, it's the duty of the education minister to intervene on behalf of students. It's not the role of trustees to rewrite history, nor is it appropriate for them to undermine the historical foundations of our country. Canada did not come into existence by accident, nor was it inevitable that our country would be created. Rather, our country was formed because men like John A. Macdonald put aside their differences and cooperated for a common good. Obviously, they didn't get everything right, and Canada remains decidedly imperfect to this day. Nevertheless, the country that emerged out of these negotiations became a country that all Canadians can rightfully be proud of. If you like being a Canadian, then you owe a debt of gratitude to our first Prime Minister, John A. Macdonald. At the very least, we can ensure that his name is not forgotten. Hopefully, the Ford government sticks to its guns and ensures that Macdonald's name stays on school buildings.